Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Monday video report. 2 more NBA playoff games on tap tonight. I've won 9 of my last 13 complimentary plays in the postseason with a free play and in-depth preview of game number 4 of the Atlanta-Washington series coming your way in just a moment. Cashed in with the Wizards outright as the 4-point dog in game number 3, and I'll get to that contest and the preview, plus a free play as well in the National League on the Washington Nationals Arizona Diamondbacks game. That's all coming up in just a moment. Remember, special package savings available today. Buy any Handicapper 60-day package, you'll automatically get another 30 days free, and as an added bonus, your service will be automatically extended through August 16th, which will get you the Hall of Fame game and the entire first week of the NFL preseason. Again, any Handicapper 60-day package, you purchase it, you'll get an additional 30 days for free, and your service will be extended through August 16th automatically by customer service. So that is a special savings offer that I do every single time here when we get midway through the NBA playoffs in the middle of May, and I wanted to make that available to you as well. Half price play of the day, again, going to be Shawn Michaels. Saturday, he had a $50 winner on the Wizards. You got it as huge discounted price. Yesterday, half price play of the day, he cashed in with a $100 play on the LA Clippers. And how easy was that game? Oh my God, hard to watch the damn game, but such an easy winner if you were on LA. Today, not only going for winning day number 140 out of 246, but $100 Western Conference lock part number 2. Grizzlies Warriors side. Again, half price play of the day simply by using coupon code SEAN, S-E-A-N. Now, it matches yesterday's $100 winner, of course, on the Clippers. And Sean, remember, 59-31 with NFL $100 releases the past 5 years, including the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And 20 out of 26 with college football $100 releases the past 4 years. This play is just as strong as all of them. He's made $10 bettors, a little over 18 grand in all sports the past 25 months. Also, Brad Wilton, winning day number 12 out of 16. He has made you a fortune with your totals. I know a lot of guys don't like to play totals. I've never understood that because, you know, it's the same odds. It's the same payoff, whether you win a side or a total. And let's face it, guys, sometimes, you know, especially let's think, the Cleveland game yesterday. Let's think the Chicago-Cleveland game number 3. Sometimes it is easier to win a total than it is to win a side, and he has been red hot with them. Winning day number 12 out of 16, $50 playoff winner number 12 out of 14, the Atlanta-Washington over and under. Normal price is $99. You get it for $9 by using coupon code BRAD9, B-R-A-D, and the number 9, just as strong as his $50 winner yesterday on the Clippers Rockets over, and Saturdays on Washington, on the who was that one? Saturday, Warriors Grizzlies under, both of which you also got for $9. You might want to check out the homepage. Jeff Benton has a huge play, $100 max wager winner, number 4 out of 5 in baseball this season, and you can get it for $19. And the charity play of the week is also going tonight from Gabriel DuPont, his $80 blowout of the month in baseball. You get it for free by using coupon code FREE. And FYI, Gabe has made $10 bettors since Thanksgiving. $15,575. Now let's take a look at tonight's games here. You know, I'll tell you what, this Washington-Atlanta game is kind of interesting because if you were to solely base it on the outcome of game number 3, you would have a hard time handicapping that game because really there were 2 games in one in game number 3. There was the game that the Washington Wizards, knowing that they were going to be without John Wall, came out and took a 21-point lead and really dominated the first 3 quarters of that game. I mean, they were up 21 points with 10 minutes left. And then you had the Atlanta Hawks coming back and forcing the tie, necessitating Paul Pierce hitting the game-winning shot, right, to give the Wizards the 4.5-point underdog the outright win. Again, there were 2 games in one in there. But let's talk about reality. The Hawks were not at full strength. Paul Millsap only came off the bench, played about 22 ineffective minutes because of flu-like symptoms. But really, it wasn't the Hawks starters that got them back into the game. No, it was their reserves, a mixture of a small lineup filled with, dotted with reserves that went on a 17-0 run in the fourth quarter to bring them all the way back when Washington was outscored 35-18 in that final frame. And, of course, again, needed Paul Pierce's heroics to get them to win and the 2-1 lead in the series. Now, Millsap is expected to be back in the starting lineup tonight. John Wall is not going to be in the lineup tonight. I said going into Game 3 that I thought the biggest problem for the Wizards wasn't the fact that Wall was or was not in the lineup. No, I thought the biggest fact problem for them was that they were not getting all the production and maximizing their size in the series. And I specifically pointed out power forward Nene, who had 2 miserable games to open this series with a total of 2 points. So he missed his first shot in game number 3, and then he finished hitting 8 of his final 9 shots for 17 points and 7 boards. Gee, how much better did the Wizards play when they got some production out of their big guy at the front? I mean, that's the key to the Wizards, because then you've got Gooden and Porter. Otto Porter, 32 points the past 2 games, coming off the bench. So, the Wizards should dominate the boards. The Wizards should dominate in terms of points in the paint. And they did so in game number 3, as they held a 43-38 lead on the boards. And they, surprisingly, however, got outscored in the paint 50-32. I don't know. Go figure. I just don't understand it. A lot of second chance opportunities. That's really what helped the Hawks in that game. Now, listen, Wall's not going to be out there. So Ramon Sessions is going to start once again at the point. Now, he had a very good game number 2. 21 points, 8 of 14 shooting. He had a very bad game number 3, okay? 2 for 10 for 8 points, 6 assists, and 3 turnovers. But Bradley Beal had a very nice game and often ran the show at the point. Will Bynum came out of nowhere off the bench in 13 minutes and contributed 9 points. But again, this game is all going to turn on a couple of factors. If you're backing the Hawks, you've got to hope that Jeff Teague finally gets going, because he's averaged under 10 points a game and shot just 26.1% in his last 4 games. You've got to hope that Kyle Korver gets going. 9 for 26 in 3-pointers in this series. He only took 5 total shots in game number 3. This is a guy who hit over 49% of his shots from downtown during the regular season. You've got to hope that he gets going. Now, if you're the Wizards, you need a game from Nene again. You need Sessions to be a little more of a stabilizing factor at the point guard position. Ultimately, though, I come down and I look at this game and I'm going, Washington's at home. And the Wizards, really, other than the hiccup in game number 2 of the series, have played exceptionally well in the postseason. And I think that the only way you play this game is to grab Washington plus the points, because these are not the Atlanta Hawks that you saw that were playing like a fine-tuned race car, up until the middle of March. These are the Atlanta Hawks that have struggled offensively in the final few weeks of the regular season when many of their starters were rested. These are the same Atlanta Hawks that struggled mightily in their opening round series against Brooklyn. These are the Atlanta Hawks that are just 3-9 straight up in their last 12 road games. So I do believe that Atlanta wins this game straight up. However, I think the way that you have to play it in terms of the points is to grab the 4.5 points, which I think is a very generous line, and take Washington. So Washington plus the 4.5 points, that is going to be your play there. Could you play the Atlanta Hawks on the money line? Sure, you could, but you'd be laying 2-1 with a team, again, that's lost 9 of its last 12 road games. So, Sometimes, however, you have to look at money line plays. Look, anybody that had the money line play yesterday on the Cleveland Cavaliers, you were a genius, because early in the morning, and I'm talking like 5 o'clock Eastern time, you could have gotten Cleveland at -1.5 yesterday, but quickly that game by 9 o'clock Eastern time went to -2, went up to -2.5. Some places it closed at -3 as the day progressed. And you know what I always say, you bet the favorites early and the underdogs late. Now, listen, we can spend an entire video report talking about the screw-ups and the weird, strange plays and the no calls that affected that game in the final 90 seconds of play. But the bottom line is, you lost the cover if you were on Cleveland yesterday, or you gained the cover if you were on Chicago, when LeBron James thought that he was entitled to automatically just hold the ball and have the referee go, oh, foul on Chicago, when the Bulls decided to double team him. And LeBron then decided instead that, oh my God, I'm trapped here in the corner. I have to do something. So let me swing my elbows. Of course, then he accuses Mike Dunleavy of taking a dive after the game. But reality is, when elbow hits face, you're generally going to get called for the foul. So that really cost you the cover, because you figured at that point the Cavaliers were up by 2. You figured the Cavaliers were going to go ahead and get a couple of free throws out of that and probably be able to hopefully cover the spread by at least a half point, if not a 1.5, depending on the outcome of the final shot on Chicago. Luckily, if you're a Cleveland fan, the Cavaliers did win the game. And of course, if you happen to have the Cavaliers on the money line, like a couple of the handicappers here at the site did, well, then you were a genius once more. Bottom line is, it was a very interesting game. Strange calls. I mean, that is weird. The other game last night, listen, Clippers-Rockets, what do you take out of that game? You take this out of it. It was unbearable to watch. I mean, it was just like agony. You know, when I was a kid, I didn't watch college basketball because, you know, that whole Dean Smith inspired four corners offense, you know, let's hold the ball, milk the clock, all that type of stuff. You know, 36, 32 games, 54, 50 games, they didn't really amuse me. I had no interest as a fan. Instead, I spent my time watching the 76ers in 1972-73, go 9-72. You know, I had better things to do with my time back then as a little kid. So that game, though, with all the fouls, it was a joke. What did you take out of it again? Listen, Kevin McHale is so overmatched as a coach. The Rockets are not a well-constructed team. They've got two parts. That's it. They got two parts. They got James Harden, who only can be effective if he's launching 25 to 30 shots a game. And you got Dwight Howard, who was not the Dwight Howard that was a self-proclaimed Superman of 5 years ago, because injuries have robbed him of much of his ability. He's an offensive liability because once he's on the court, opponents are going to hack him as well and send him to the free throw line where he's an atrocious shooter. What else do they have? They've got nothing. They're starting a 37-year-old point guard in Jason Terry, okay? Patrick Beverley out. That's why Terry is starting. Even if Beverley was in the lineup, it doesn't matter. They are basically, essentially, a two-man team. The Clippers are a team. I mean, it's hard to imagine the Clippers playing much better than they have in this series, and I just don't see how the Rockets even win another game because they just simply aren't good. And when you think about it, if not for the Game 2 fourth quarter explosion by James Harden, if not for that one single quarter, this series is over because the Clippers have outplayed them in every single quarter otherwise in that game. Now, for your baseball free play tonight, I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals. They're about a minus $1.50 price at Arizona. You know, Max Scherzer won his last start. Didn't pitch particularly well, even though he did fans 10 batters for a second straight start because against Miami at home, he gave up 10 hits and 5 runs in 7 innings. But listen, his first 5 starts, he gave up 25 hits and 35 and 2/3 innings and only 8 runs total. He's allowed to have an off night. The reason, however, that he came close to losing a third straight start was because the Nationals, prior to his last start, simply didn't give him any offensive support. But then again, that's been the Nationals' tale of 2 seasons here in the opening 5 weeks, 6 weeks of play. Because when they lost 13 of their first 20 games, they averaged 3.5 runs a game. Now, suddenly, they've won 10 out of 12 games. They're hitting homers like crazy. And they've averaged 6 runs a game in their last dozen. They've won 14 of the last 18 in the series, including 6 out of 7 meetings last year. Now, I know Josh Collmenter, pitched well last year at home. But the fact is, at Chase Field this season in 4 starts, he's 1-3 and an earned run average approaching 4. I am more than willing to lay the wood with the Nationals when there's a 4 straight and 10 out of 12. Don't want to play them on the money line, however. Yes, it's a very generous take back, but I just... here's the thing with the Nationals. It seems like every time I take them on a money line play, they win by 1 run. It's just one of those things. So I think this is where you go ahead and you play them minus 145, minus 150, straight up on the money line, rather than look for that tremendous take back as a run line dog and go ahead and take the Nationals as your other complimentary play. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all. If you have any questions about that, buy 2 months, get 1 month, and get the first week of NFL preseason play as well for free, just contact customer service. That's what they're there for, to answer all your questions. Good luck, everybody, and I'll talk to you again Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Thank God it's almost Tuesday. And we'll do this one more time. Good luck, everybody.